a referral. There we go. We're recording in progress. So that's something that very few agents do. Very few agents create a relationship with new construction salespeople. Um, and I that's my goal. I have somebody in every builder that I only strictly work with them, because here's the thing: when you're constantly sending clients to a salesperson, guess what? They're gonna appreciate that and they're gonna want to return the favor. So if you're always, at Lennar, I have a lady named Ana Bernardino, that I've been, every time I sell Lennar, I call her and they can cross sell so she can sell in the community. And she sent me clients that need to sell their home. That's not against the rules. She sent me clients that, would want to purchase a home with them, but didn't qualify. So because of their credit or whatever. So I typically help those people improve their credit. And then guess what? They're my client once I get them ready to buy. So it's just about creating more relationships with people at the builders. Um, Trust me, if you start doing that, if you start putting yourself out there and creating those relationships, sooner or later they will pay out. They will send something your way, and even if they don't do that, at least they're sending you their inventory, keeping you updated. Um, that Anna lady that I work with at Lennar, every time she has like a really great deal, she calls me and tells me, "Hey, Daniel, I got this house and this community, and it has a $10,000 realtor bonus or whatever." Whenever there's something special like that, she'll call me and tell me, because we don't know what's going on at the builders, but they have all the inside information. So you want to make friends with people at the builders. So you can get those inside tips and opportunities. Um, I would like for I don't know, is David here in the call? I think I saw you come in. I don't see you on the camera. Ellie, are you here? That you can unmute yourself and I can ask you about your experience selling new homes.
I am here. I am here.
Uh,
I am here. Yep.
awesome, awesome, Ellie. So how long have you been doing real estate?
Ooh, 30. This is my 33rd year.
Okay, so I'm sure you saw quite a few new homes, right? In your
Yes.
career.
Yeah, just actually, I may not know many of you on here. I'm not sure, but I had made a post a couple of weeks ago. You do what you got to do, and I had a referral. The kind of won't try to drag this out, but I had a referral from a client I had sold to about 7 or 8 years ago. And their friends moved here from Oregon and they had no clue where they wanted to be. They didn't know if they wanted to be on the East Coast or the West Coast. And I didn't want to let the people down I had sold to. So, long story short, over about less than a week, I drove 800 miles. I totaled it. It was insane, but it was new construction. We settled and it was at Flagler Beach. And so, as you mentioned, Danny, there's a lot of builders out there, but I do, and I didn't hear you say this, but maybe you did. I apologize. If you did, you've got to be with your client. Don't let your client just say, "Oh, I'm going to take Saturday and go look at some properties, new construction, and I'll let you know if I find something."
Yes.
Lennar is the worst. They will not pay
Yeah.
you if you do not walk in the door with your client. I was very
100%.
fortunate. This was a builder on the other coast. And I kept telling my people, don't go in without me, don't go in. And I said, if you do, open the door, put your head in and say, "Hey, my realtor's on her way. She's coming from Tampa," because it was about a 2.5 hour drive for me to get there. But it was a great experience. They paid me 3% commission, which is great. And just like Danny said, I always give my clients the pros and the cons to new construction versus resale. And Danny, I think you touched on them all. You get all the current warranties, right? Which is great. You don't have to worry about, oh my gosh, do I need to buy a home warranty, or I've got to ask the seller for it. It comes with all the, the current warranties. It's builder. Your insurance is usually less
Super low.
new construction because it meets all the current codes.
Right.
I'm sure many of us on here were doing home inspections, and the big one on resales right now is there's a double tap in that electrical box. I'm finding
Always.
it's
Always.
you can count on it. So with new construction, you're meeting all the new codes. You don't have to worry about that. They're paying, I heard you say, and absolutely. Right now, it is like splendid out there because they are paying the seller's closing cost, paying
Yeah.
a decent amount of commission, and it's really a win-win. And even if your client has a home to sell, a lot of times they'll give a grace period on that as well. To if they give a
Yeah.
deposit, then they'll give a grace period.
Yeah, you said quite a few things that I want to kind of touch on because they're really important. The first one being never let your client walk into new construction without you, because it's not just Lennar. There's a lot of builders that if you don't walk in with them and they register and they don't put your name or you're not there with them, they won't let you in the deal. It just happened to me um recently. What builder was it? Their logo is red. I can't think right now, but they're out in Apollo Beach. But the client, when somebody at Real referred them to me, the client, and the client went to the builder without me like a few days before, and they got registered without me, and they wouldn't let me in the deal. Thankfully, they didn't end up buying the house. So I'm showing them other builders, but if they do go back to that builder, they told me that I can't be on the transaction because they came without a realtor and I wasn't there to register them. So once they register, typically they won't let you in the deal unless they put you from the and when they first register, and most builders are requiring that you be present with them. If some builders will let you call ahead and kind of let, if you can't make it, you can make an appointment with them, with the builder, and they'll make sure that they'll put you on the deal. But I try to always go with the client because you don't want to take the chance. But Ellie did mention, a few things that are very important. One being that you always want to go with the client. You don't want to send them alone because you might lose the deal. You might lose the deal, and you might lose, the commission on that transaction. The other thing is commissions. Builders pay the most commissions. I've gone and paid 5, 6, 7% on a new construction deal. One deal, I recently sold one with Casa Fresca Homes, and they have like a tiered thing, and some do where the more you sell, the more you make. And I had sold like 6 homes with them the same year, and I got to 6% commission on a deal. I made $30,000 on one transaction. It was a $500,000 home, 6%, 30,000 commission. That's like selling $1 million resale home, because a million at three is 30,000. So I like where new construction is much easier because you don't you just bring them to the model home and let them fall in love with the model home, and you don't even have to do the work because the salesperson is there. They're the expert on the company, on their products, and you let them do their thing. I just bring them to the person, and I'm like, hey, Anna, this is you know Maria, and she wants to buy a new construction. She needs 3 bedrooms, a bath, and she needs to move by this date. What you got available? And I just let them do their thing. Don't They're the expert. I defer to them, and she starts telling us what was available in the community, the different floor plan options and the price point that they want to do. But it's so easy. You just bring them to the motorhome, let the salesperson do all the talking. You just nod along, and it's so easy. They typically, once they show them the model home, show them whatever floor plans might work for them. Then I tell the salesperson, hey, let's get them on the phone with the lender, because they have their own lenders, their preferred lenders, which you got to use to be able to get the incentives where they pay closing costs and buy the write down. So you always want to make sure that they go with the lenders, the builder's lender. That way they get all the incentives. But I typically, you also want to be aggressive, because some of these salespeople, they're like, yeah, I'll give you the business card of the lender, and then you guys can go online and fill the application. I'm like, nope, we're gonna call the lender from the model home. That's how I do it. I'm like, hey, you got a lender available? Let's just talk to them right now and have them give them some numbers so they have a better idea of what the monthly payment is going to look like, and that way they can make an informed decision. If they're ready to make a decision tonight, then we give them the tools and the information they need so they can make the decision. But if you just let them go home and maybe fill out an application or not, you don't know. They'll change their mind. They'll see another builder, another house on Zillow, whatever. So you also want to, I'm not saying put pressure on them, but this is a sales job, and you got to sell the client on what they're looking for. And if you think it's the perfect house for them, then we're not going to let them walk away and not get all the information they did. Get them with the lender on the phone, and let's see the numbers. Then once they have the monthly payment, and the cash to close, then they can make a decision, an informed decision. So you still want to kind of like be a salesperson, but you want to let the salesperson of the builder kind of like take over and guide the whole sales process, because they're going to write the contract for you. You don't have to do any paperwork. They're going to, do the showing basically for you. They do everything. That's why selling new construction is the easiest sale you can do. And many realtors don't even take advantage of it, but it's so easy. And if you're gonna take one thing out of this training tonight, is that right now in a tough market, the best deal is a new construction home, because they only need a down payment. The builder, you can negotiate to have the builder cover all your closing costs, and you can have the builder buy down the rate and get you a lower payment. If the client is payment sensitive, the lowest payment is going to be a payment with the lowest rate interest rate. And right now you can get a 3.99, you can get a 4.99, you can get a 3.75, maybe even a 3.5. When some builders so they have some 5/1 arm products that they're doing in the threes. How can you get a 3% interest rate with a resale right now? You can't. It's impossible. So
I
that's
want,
why yeah, Benz, you there?
oh yeah, I wanted to jump in here for a minute
Yes.
on. There's an opportunity here with this new construction, and the opportunity is, the agents, you're looking for something to post on social media. The object is to get some honey from what you put out on the limb. And you see a lot of these agents at these new construction sites posting videos. And from an investment standpoint, when these are outstanding investments. So people need to think that, look, you're going to move into this home for 6 months. If you got an FHA or 1 year, whatever the requirement is, then it becomes a rental for you. And with that low of an interest rate, you basically got in for little to no money. And as a real estate agent yourself, you could get in with no money because you're using your commission as the down payment to
Right.
basically offset on an FHA. And that's the way you build wealth, is you start owning these properties and you start to accumulate properties like this. And being in a new community and one of the best investments you could make, and this is a video that I would make. They're getting ready to launch a new neighborhood. You want to buy the first house that you can buy on a standard lot, stripped out, the basic lot with no upgrades, no nothing. You buy it because eventually this is going to be your rental house. And 15 years from now, that's when you update it and upgrade it and do all that stuff. But the purpose of it right now is to buy at a wholesale rate is what you're doing with the interest rate, with the pricing, with everything that they're giving you with no money down. It's an opportunity not only for yourself as an agent, but to promote this so that you could get investors to start building their portfolio with this option. So part of this is educating yourself. And when Danny's talking about this and he's done a lot of new construction, you want to start trying to stack up some of these properties and get some people that are interested in starting to invest. I know Ellie and I, we've got a doctor client that buys probably 3 houses from us a year for the last 5 years. And eventually he'll end up selling all these properties and, we're going to have a lot of listings. But when you're helping people invest in real estate, when they start making money, they're not going to use anybody but you, and they're going to refer their friends and family to you. So I was not a big fan of new construction. I used to just discount it until Danny enlightened me and brought me up to speed. And now some of my investors, thanks to Danny, are using some of his tactics to invest in it. So don't discount it, because make the videos, push it out there, act like they're your listings, talk about what a great investment, what a great opportunity it is, because somebody's out there renting a home right now, and it would be cheaper for them to buy a home with the bought down interest rate and the free closing costs.
Yeah, for
I just
sure.
want to throw that in.
Yeah, 100%, Vince. Like it could make a great investment, because when you're getting a 3.99 rate or a 3.5 rate, the payment is low enough where they might be able to cash flow, a couple $100, because rent is so expensive. So, there's opportunities where you could potentially sell new construction to investors. It's different for them when it comes to incentives and loan programs, but there's opportunities there. So, I would definitely explore that too. But the key is to learn as much as you can from the different builders and learn what was one thing that makes them unique. Like, for example, DR Horton Homes. DR Horton Homes is the only builder that builds block on block on first and second floor. Most other builders only do block on the first floor and then frame on the second floor. But DR Horton is known for having block on block on both floors, and there's people that buy a DR Horton because of that, because they
Danny,
feel like it's yeah.
Danny, that's a perfect point for somebody to make a video. Go out to the construction site, go into the model center, have them walk you through, and then talk about long-term investment, the durability of the homes, the quality of the construction, and explain to the investors, long-term, this is less maintenance for you. This is less problems that you're going to have with it in the future. And, making these types of videos and even websites, and you look at people like Stu Hurry, who's in Tampa, he's made a career out of new construction. That's all he sells is new construction homes. So to focus on that, come up with a website or a landing page and say, you're looking to start or add to a real estate investment portfolio. I'm your go-to realtor. I know the best deals because of my relationships with all the builders. And how do you establish relationships with the builders? You go out to the model centers and meet the people, and you'll know what these people are giving. Like sometimes they've got one home that they can't give away, and they're giving special incentives to that particular house. And you're able to listen, let me put this out on social media right now. Today, you can go in and buy this house. And it makes you the expert. When you're constantly promoting things like that, it puts you in a position of authority. And then they'll use you as the real estate agent. And what do most of them? They have to sell their home. So now you're picking up a listing as well. So I think a lot of it is you've got to put the time and effort into it. And a lot of people just think, well, I'm gonna go listen to Danny for a minute, but then tomorrow you're not posting anything and you're not putting anything online and you're not asking for people's business. And in this business, the one thing you have to go ask people for the business. Who wants to make money today? I'm Danny Perez here with the Real Broker, and I'm here to show you one of the best deals that you're going to get. This is the deal of the week, and the first person who jumps on it, this is going to fly off the shelf. If you want to start to accumulate wealth, give me a call at 813 Danny Perez, and boom, and that's what you got to do. You got to pump it up and promote it. That's what we
Simple.
are. We have to become cheerleaders for ourselves.
It's that simple. But you got to take action, because you can listen to all the trainings, you can but if you don't take action, then nothing happens. One thing, I'll give you my golden nugget for when I sell new construction. This is what I tell clients. Listen, when you buy new construction, you know what you're buying? You're buying peace of mind, because you're not going to have to change a roof for 20 years. You're not going to have to change an AC for 15, 20 years. You're not going to have to change a water heater. You're buying peace of mind. You got a warranty. Most builders do a 1, 2, 10 warranty. 1 year, kind of like a bumper to bumper, anything that happens in the home. 2 years inside the walls, mechanical, electrical, plumbing, AC. 10-year structural. So you got warranty. If anything was to come up with a new home, you're covered. You have a warranty. So that's what I tell people. With a new construction, you're buying peace of mind. That's what you're buying. And I tell them the risk. I tell them to compare. With resale. The problem with resale, you don't know who live in this home before you buy it, and how they treated the home. They took good care. If they did the annual maintenance on the AC, you don't know what you're getting with a new construction. You can buy a new construction today, close today, tomorrow, then the AC can go out. And it's happened to me with clients, and it sucks. It's unfortunate when things like that happen, because you know, guess what? Typically, it's always the realtor's fault. Oh, the inspector that you recommended didn't, take a good look at the AC, or whatever the case may be. So that's why I like selling new homes. There's not gonna be inspection issues. There's not gonna be, AC issues after closing. You're not gonna have anything. uh, you could have stuff go wrong, but guess what? There's warranties, and all they got to do is put in a warranty request, and the builder, whoever it is, Leonardo or Horton, will come out and take care of it and fix it for the client right away. So to me, it's worth it, selling new homes, because you're giving the client peace of mind, and they're not going to have any issues. They shouldn't have any issues with that home, and if they do, they have a warranty. So I hate getting calls from clients after they close. Danny, you wouldn't believe, the AC went out, or I had a client that had a roof leak after we closed, and you know we what can we do? Like, we did an inspection, and we not it didn't come up in the inspection. Then it's just an unfortunate situation that sometimes happens. But if you can avoid all that, it's even better, because then the client's gonna have a better experience, with the home, with your services, and they're gonna be happy. So I'm all about new homes. um to me, is the easiest sale that you can do. And it pays the best, because they don't pay any less than, well, 2%. West Bay Home pays 2%. Pulte Homes pays 2%. Most builders are gonna pay 3%. Some builders are gonna pay 4, 5, 6%. Casa Fresca was doing a promotion that they were paying 10% commission on one house a month. So there's so many different promotions and incentives that you can take advantage for your client and for you as the agent on the commission side. So to me, you're doing a disservice to yourself if you're not, offering the new constructions to your clients as well as the resale. And the way that I bring it up is I talk to a client, and usually they're gonna tell you about resale, and I tell them, hey, listen, I'm gonna show you whatever you want resale, but I also would like to take the opportunity and show you new construction so you can compare and see, what would work best for you in terms of, you know, uh, cash to close, incentives. You can definitely get a better deal with a new construction when it comes to closing cost assistance, rate buy downs. You're not gonna get a rate in the threes with a resale. It's not gonna happen. So to me, right now and always, it's the easiest sale that you can do. So I wanted to open it up for questions, comments, whatever. I know David. David, you're in the call. Can you
Yep.
unmute? So
Yep.
David is my partner. We have a team together, and David loves selling new construction. Can you tell me kind of like your experience with new construction? What have how it's been for you when it comes to clients, buying new homes, commissions, just a little.
Yeah. So one thing that was highlighted pretty frequently was that if you're not the procuring cause on a new construction home, you won't get credit for it. And what I've learned is by forging relationships with the folks that work at the new construction, the sales associates that are there, I've been able to overcome that because there was a time where I told the person to go, but they had already signed up online. And because of my relationship with the sales associate at the new construction, she was able to, run it up the flagpole and get me paid for that per transaction. So a part of new construction, selling is, absolutely forging those relationships and having them send you anytime there's a new construction deal that falls through. Hey, can you please send me a text and let me know? Send me an MLS number. Send me anything you can so that I can, like Vince was saying, just put it out there. Like, this is the deal of the week. You got to check it out. And I thought that was important. Another important thing is that as a new home salesman, if you want to specialize in that, there's a specialist that you can become, like a new home sales specialist. It's a certification class, and for folks that are looking to kind of really go to the well on that a lot, maybe it's worth it for you to get the new home certification, new home sales certification. Anybody know what it's called?
Oh, I don't remember that, but I know there's
The
one.
designation?
Yeah, the
Yeah,
designation.
there's a designation for that. But
Um, yeah,
so
that's important. And then the last thing I'll share with the group is that typically there's a strategy I use when selling homes. I like to sell resales first, like take them on showings to see the resales, tell them all about it, tell them how great we can get it, and then when I tell them, we can get right now the interest rates nationally are like 5.5, 5.6, maybe even higher. And then you go to new construction, they see 3.9, and then they see that there's a warranty. There's no warranties anywhere else. Starting with the resales and then finishing with the new construction is absolutely the strategy you want to employ anytime you have capable buyers.
yeah,
So that's my tidbits.
100%. It's new construction is so easy to sell because you can get a great deal right now. So to me, it's all about offering those lower rates to the buyers, telling them, hey, I know I qualify everybody with my lender, with my preferred lender, because I want them to see, hey, you're getting a rate on a resale at 6% or whatever the rate may be, and then I introduce the new construction and tell them, hey, by the way, there's a way that you can get a much lower rate, 4.5, 3.99, 3.75, and that's with the new construction. And I would like to kind of like show you both options, resale versus new construction, and you can see what works best, for you in your situation. But typically, that lower rate is going to have a lower payment, and most buyers are going to be payment sensitive. So new construction is a great option to offer them. And like I said, how I do it is I tell the buyers, hey, with a new construction, you're buying peace of mind. You're not gonna have any issues. You're not gonna have to change a roof, for 20 years. You're not gonna have to change an AC for 15, 20 years. So you're not gonna have to put money into the house except any upgrades that you want to do. But when it comes to repairs, there shouldn't be any repairs to be done for years, with any construction. So that's important for some people. um Anybody else want to share any new construction tips that uh they have learned? One thing that I do is, like Vince was saying, I'll go to a new construction, and myself and David did it with our team recently. We went out to Casa Fresca in Zephyr Hills, right? Zephyr Hills. And
Zephyr Hills.
yeah, and we did some videos, and for the agents, showing new construction deals that they had. And it's a great way to get leads, just by going to the builder, doing a video, walk around, taking photos, and posting them on social media. And what I do is I try to withhold the information of the builder, what company, you know. I just give them a little bit of information, so they gotta ask me, about it. I'll put something like, the other day I put a picture of some new townhomes. I saw a townhome in Apollo Beach with David Wickley, and they're buying down the rate to, I think, like a 4.25. The payment what came out to for the client for like 2,500 for a brand new um, townhome, in a 3-2 townhome in Apollo Beach. So I put a picture of the townhomes in construction. I say, "Hey, brand new townhomes in Apollo Beach from the 2,500s," and I had probably like 5 or 6 people DM me, to ask me information. So it's simple to get people interested in new construction, because the deals that they're offering, the rates that they're offering, you don't get that in resale. So they're very attractive. Um, so it's almost 7:30. So I wanted to, if anybody has any questions, now is the time to ask, because we're getting ready to call it a day. But I hope that you guys learn a little bit about new construction, and that you guys start selling some new construction homes, because it's easy to sell and it pays very well. So just start going out there, doing some videos, taking some pictures, posting it on social media, and creating those relationships with the salespeople at the different builders. That way, they keep you, updated on all the inventory, incentives, and deals that they got going on. So, if nobody has any questions, then that's it. That's my new construction masterclass for you guys. Let's go out, let's sell some new construction, let's go make some videos, let's do some posting. And one thing before we go that I'm gonna give you, one thing that works with me, for me, a great way to get leads for new construction is take pictures and put them on Facebook Marketplace, and do a posting. Hey, brand new house in Plant City 3-2 for, from the low 300s. Everybody's on Facebook and social media. People will see the posting, and they will reach out to you and ask you. Not everybody might qualify, but hey, there are free leads that you can get if you're slow and you need to ramp up. That's a great way. That's one thing that I do. I'd be posting new construction listings on Facebook Marketplace, and you can get free leads. Anybody want some free leads? Come on, guys, let's do it. All right, then, if there's no questions, I'm gonna call it a night. Let's go sell some new homes. Let's go help some people. Uh, let's go be awesome and sell some more homes. If you have any questions, you know where to find me. I hope you guys have a good night. All right. Oh, one thing before we go, I wanted to mention, I think we have like 3 more sessions of Try Thursday, and we're excited. We're gonna do a small transition to another call that our network is hosting, and this one is on Mondays. We're gonna put out some more information for you guys, but I want you to start thinking about that. We're probably gonna move this call to Mondays, and we're gonna send out an email and give you the information of the new day and the new call, because we want everybody to connect with the whole network, and they have some great information that they're putting out, and we want everybody to participate. So stay tuned for that. We're gonna send out an email with more information on this new call that we're gonna be transitioning to. All right, so with that being said, I'll see you guys in the next training. Have a good night.